Voting Keir Starmer, the UK Premier.
Yes, he's coming tonight.
What do you think of him? Some of his colleagues in government are quite critical of you.
Well, I'm going to see him in about an hour, so I have to be...
Well, I'm meeting him in roughly an hour, so I must prepare. When Donald Trump received a question regarding Keir Starmer, the response revealed he refuses to forget many of the harsh remarks Starmer and Labour issued toward him, labeling Trump a sociopath, tyrant, racist, pitiful little man, and numerous other insults. Labour established the tone of their dealings with Trump, and now Keir Starmer faces punishment from Donald Trump because Trump is an individual who keeps grudges and openly declares he will retaliate. Now, at the beginning of his presidency, he may want to appear mature by describing Starmer as respectable, yet everyone understands his real intentions. Already, Trump placed Starmer in his place by excluding him from the inauguration, while other figures like Italy's Prime Minister attended, breaking precedent. So how exactly has Keir Starmer failed? And what actions is Trump taking against him? In this video, let's uncover the entire narrative. Keir Starmer believed he could ridicule, dismiss, and defiantly challenge Donald Trump without repercussions. He assumed that merely because Britain was once America's closest partner, the special bond would survive regardless of who governed. But Trump never operates that way. This is a man who remembers adversaries and strikes them relentlessly. And now Starmer is discovering just how severely he misjudged.
But for the liars and cheaters and fraudsters and censors and imposters who have commandeered our government, it will be their judgment day.
From being ignored at Trump's inauguration to enduring financial retaliation, Starmer's administration is witnessing in shock as Britain's sway in Washington crumbles before their sight. Labour spent years ridiculing Trump, branding him a bigot, a danger to democracy, and a political fool. But now, Trump holds authority, and he never forgets.
Did the Foreign Secretary take that opportunity to apologise for making derogatory and scatological references, including, and I quote, Trump is not only a woman-hating, neo-Nazi sympathising sociopath, he is also a profound threat to the international order. And if he did not apologise, will the Prime Minister do so now on his behalf? Given that most of his cabinet signed a motion to ban President Trump from addressing Parliament, will the Prime Minister show that he and his government can be more than student politicians by asking you, Mr. Speaker, to extend an invitation to President Trump to address Parliament on his... Sound like he wants to invite President-elect Trump to Parliament. He needs to look after the special relationship. The US is our single biggest trade partner. Given the risk of increased tariffs on UK exports, which threaten our manufacturing sector, will the Prime Minister commit now to continue the negotiations on our free trade agreement with the US, which the Biden administration cancelled?
Trump despises Starmer, and it goes beyond politics. It's personal. Labour supporters traveled to the US to rally for Kamala Harris, an intolerable instance of outright meddling in an American contest. This wasn't merely politicians issuing public remarks. Starmer's Labour Party deliberately operated against Trump's return to office. On that matter, Trump explicitly declared he would pursue legal proceedings against Labour for intruding in US affairs.
We start in the US, where Donald Trump's presidential campaign has made a legal complaint against the Labour Party here for what it claims is illegal foreign contributions and interference in the US election. A statement from the Trump-Vance campaign says the far-left Labour Party has inspired Kamala's dangerous liberal policies and rhetoric. In recent weeks, they've recruited and sent party members to campaign for Kamala in critical battleground states, attempting to influence our election. A now-deleted social media post from a senior Labour official said that there were 10 spots available to travel to the US and that the party would sort housing for volunteers. But Labour officials say activists who have been campaigning for Kamala Harris are doing so in their personal capacity and are not organised or funded by the party.
The Labour Party has played down accusations by Donald Trump's campaign team that it has interfered in the US election by sending volunteers to campaign for Kamala Harris. The Trump team complained to the US Federal Election Commission after Labour members were sent a message on the social media platform LinkedIn asking people to travel to the United States.
It's up to private individuals to choose what they do with their money and their time. It's not unusual for supporters of a party in one country to campaign for a sister party in another country. It happens both way round, as it has done this time, but none of this was organised or funded by the Labour Party, and that's quite proper.
And now Trump is seeking retribution. In Washington, Labour is viewed as a foe, a party opposing everything Trump embodies: national independence, anti-globalism, and economic patriotism. Trump aims to lower taxes and revive manufacturing, yet Starmer pushes international regulations. Trump desires a powerful defense alliance grounded in strength, not red tape. Yet Starmer promotes fragile European-style diplomacy. Before moving ahead, tell us, are you enjoying this video? If yes, kindly like and share it and subscribe to our channel for more exclusive updates on the historic shifts unfolding in British politics. Let's proceed now. Moreover, Trump prefers bilateral trade agreements with nationalists like Italy's Meloni and Argentina's Milei. For Trump, Keir Starmer is merely another frail pro-EU pro-China leader, and he holds no interest in treating him as a genuine partner. Yet Starmer struggles to remain significant and appease him in every possible way to gain approval, but that cannot succeed.
On behalf of His Majesty's Government and the United Kingdom, I would like to send my warmest congratulations to President Trump on his inauguration as the 47th President of the United States. For centuries, the relationship between our two nations has been one of collaboration, cooperation, and enduring partnership. It is a uniquely close bond. Together, we have defended the world from tyranny and worked towards our mutual security and prosperity. With President Trump's long-standing affection and historical ties to the United Kingdom, I know that depth of friendship will continue. The United Kingdom and the United States will work together to ensure the success of both our countries and deliver for people on both sides of the Atlantic. Since our first meeting in September, the President and I have spoken about the need to deepen and invest in the transatlantic relationship. We will continue to build upon the unshakable foundations of our historic alliance as we tackle together the global challenges we face and take our partnership to the next level, focused on shared opportunities ahead for growth. I look forward to our next meeting as we continue our shared mission to ensure the peace, prosperity, and security of our two great nations. The special relationship between the United Kingdom and the United States will continue to flourish for many years to come.
Yet if Starmer expects Trump to regard him seriously, he must follow whatever Trump demands, and that would involve accepting direct commands and reshaping policies as Trump insists.
I was in government when Trump came in, and this is a foreshadowing for the Prime Minister of what is going to come under a Trump administration. They will be derailed almost every day by something that the President says or what the White House releases or a decision that they make that is going to distract from what it is the government wants to talk about. I mean, we had situations in Downing Street where Trump would wander out onto the White House lawn in front of the cameras and say, oh, something's happened in the UK, I'm going to go and call Theresa, and suddenly the phone would ring in the Prime Minister's office. Oh God, the President's on the phone. And this is a foreshadowing for it.
Nothing highlighted Starmer's insignificance more than his omission from Trump's second inauguration. Trump personally welcomed Italy's Giorgia Meloni, Argentina's Javier Milei, and Nigel Farage, all right-wing nationalist figures who grasped the shifting political reality. Starmer, meanwhile, was entirely absent. Even worse, Trump extended the red carpet for Britain's right-wing populists. Farage was celebrated at exclusive Trump gatherings, mingling with leading Republican financiers and advisors.
You have a man from Europe, I don't know if he's here, I saw him backstage. What he did was, and what he is doing is sort of what we did a few years ago. He's doing a great job. He's always been my friend for some reason. He liked me, I liked him. And he's shaking it up pretty good over there. He was the big winner of the last election in the UK, and he's a very spectacular man, very highly respected, Nigel Farage. He's a little bit of a...
Do you think you are Britain's Trump?
Not really, no. I think we're very different. But I think we think the same on many things, certainly.
You've spent a lot of time campaigning with him. What have you learned from him?
I think he's learned quite a lot from me. I think it goes both ways, yeah.
What's he learned from you?
Oh, I think he was watching my speeches in the European Parliament for many years.
Really?
Before he decided to run, yes.
He's told you that?
I know that to be true.
Yet Peter Mandelson, Starmer's pick for UK ambassador, was ridiculed in private. His name equated with the corrupt globalist elite. The signal was unmistakable. Trump's America does not acknowledge Starmer's Britain, and this marks only the start. Trump's resentment towards Starmer isn't merely symbolic, it's about dominance. He has already suggested tariffs on partners who refuse to match his vision. And guess who tops that list? Britain.
We're going to put tariffs on outside countries and outside people that really mean us harm. They want to, well, they mean us harm, but they basically want to make their country good. Look at what others do. China's a tremendous tariff maker, and India and Brazil and so many countries. And so we're not going to let that happen any longer, because we're going to put America first, always put America first. That's what's going to happen. We're going to establish a very fair system where money is going to come into our coffers, and America is going to be very rich again, and it's going to happen very quickly. It's time for the United States to return to the system that made us richer and more powerful than ever before.
Now, Trump's economic advisors are preparing to confront the UK with tough trade demands, fully aware that Starmer lacks leverage in Washington. Moreover, Labour's approach and her posture makes Britain an obvious target for US trade reprisals. That's because Trump views Starmer as a globalist betrayer who would rather engage with Beijing than Washington. Notably, Starmer's urgency for a UK-US trade pact gives Trump the advantage. He knows Starmer will be compelled to accept degrading conditions merely to prevent economic harm. Under Trump, Britain's access to US markets could contract sharply. This would spell disaster for the UK economy, and it rests entirely on Starmer's shoulders.
I will deal with whoever is the president of America.
It's very possible that Donald Trump will return to the White House at the start of the next year. Your team has, I think, quite close links to parts of the Biden administration. Have you had any contact with the Trump team?
Well, look, you're right. We do have close links with the Biden administration. That is very important to us, particularly in terms of our history, our traditions, and our values as a Labour Party. But ultimately, later this year, it falls to the American people to decide who they want as their president. And I will deal with whoever is the president of America. The special relationship, the long-standing relationship that we've had, not least on nuclear deterrence, is far stronger than the identity of the next president of the US.
Have you had any outreach or ties with the Trump campaign, the Trump operation so far?
No.
So Keir Starmer, the United States and France are Britain's biggest allies. You become Prime Minister, there could be a world in which Trump and Marine Le Pen are in office. How would you feel about this?
It's for voters in America and France to decide who they want as their leaders. And if I'm privileged enough to come into office to serve this country, I will deal with the leaders of other countries as they've been elected in by those that live there and those that voted them in.
As if Starmer's predicament weren't already severe enough, he now must face the fury of Elon Musk. Musk isn't merely a billionaire, but also a central figure in Trump's administration and one of the most powerful actors in world politics, and he loathes Keir Starmer for months. Musk has used his X platform to erode Starmer's credibility, attacking him over his failure to address grooming gangs, his assault on free expression and online dissent, and his loyalty to European bureaucrats.
Why is the guy who is probably the richest man in the world setting out, as he has done, saying that he is going to undermine the British government, that he's trying to get rid of a recently democratically elected government in this country? That is not good,
Barry,
for democracy.
You belong to a party that sent activists to America to actively plot to, and I quote, kill Elon Musk's Twitter. Labour activists in a centre for countering digital hate that was set up by a certain Morgan McSweeney, happens to be Keir Starmer's chief of staff. I wonder why Elon Musk has suddenly got a really strong interest in Keir Starmer and the Labour Party. Because let's be honest, Barry, all of those statements that Labour MPs made about Donald Trump, all of those bizarre statements they made about Elon Musk, guess what? These guys don't really like that. They don't like being abused. They don't like being insulted. So they're going to call you out when you fail, like when you fail with these white working class girls in communities.
Well, look, it is about the richest man in the world trying to undermine democracy. That is wrong. And if you can't see that, Matt, then I would be very surprised.
I've spent more of my time recently looking at how the Labour Party has been undermining free speech and free expression.
On the question of Elon Musk, look, I think most people are more interested in what's going to happen to the NHS, frankly, than what's happening on Twitter. Child sexual exploitation is utterly sickening. Utterly sickening. And for many, many years, too many victims have been completely let down by perverse ideas about community relations, or by the idea that institutions must be protected above all else. And they've not been listened to and they've not been heard. Those that are spreading lies and misinformation as far and as wide as possible, they're not interested in victims. They're interested in themselves. Those who are cheerleading Tommy Robinson, not interested in justice. They're supporting a man who went to prison for nearly collapsing a grooming case, a gang grooming case. These are people who are trying to get some kind of vicarious thrill from street violence that people like Tommy Robinson promote. And those attacking Jess Phillips, who I'm proud to call a colleague and a friend, not protecting victims. Jess Phillips has done 1,000 times more than they've even dreamt about when it comes to protecting victims of sexual abuse throughout her entire career. But when the poison of the far right leads to serious threats to Jess Phillips and others, then in my book, a line has been crossed.
Musk's relentless public assaults have forced Labour MPs into defence, desperately attempting to minimise the impact. But the reality is, Musk's reach is enormous, and his direct access to Trump ensures Starmer's troubles are worsening. Musk has suggested initiating new probes into Labour's shortcomings, a move that could embarrass Starmer's administration on the global stage. Additionally, Musk has openly endorsed Reform UK, helping validate Farage's movement as a genuine political force. At present, Trump and Musk are aligned, meaning Starmer faces not only a US president but also one of the wealthiest and most influential individuals worldwide. And that man is celebrated by the British public for confronting
They want Elon Musk gone, X turned off, and freedom of speech stamped out. Starmer himself has said he's going to look at social media laws in the wake of the riots and even revisit the Online Safety Act. And right on cue, of course, the Westminster elite are now circling. Guardian columnists got their knickers in a twist, saying Musk should be on trial in the UK for inciting the riots. And Keir Starmer's champagne socialist biographer, Tom Baldwin, called for regulation of social media platforms, even saying free speech was not absolute. Make no mistake, the minority racist idiots who caused the worst of these riots have opened the floodgates for a power grab of our civil liberties under this Labour government. And it's a crying shame that it's a US-based South African who's the only one with the balls to stick up for British citizens.
With Trump refusing to cooperate and Musk actively undermining his administration, murmurs are spreading within Westminster about whether the special relationship can be salvaged while Starmer remains in power. For many in Labour, the verdict is no. That's because if Starmer continues to lead, Trump will keep punishing Britain economically, the UK will stay on Trump's blacklist, and Britain will be perceived as weak, insignificant, and expendable. The only path to restoring ties with Trump's America is for Labour to remove Starmer and appoint a leader who isn't despised in the White House. And as months pass, more Labour MPs will begin questioning whether Starmer justifies the damage.
Nonetheless, I think there is the possibility of severe turbulence ahead. And, there is a group of very, very powerful, probably they've got the intellectual edge at the moment, the Blairites. And I'm thinking of people like Wes Streeting and lots of his allies, Liz Kendall being one of his allies and stuff, inside, the reformers inside government. And there is the soft left, who would probably gather, as it were, under the Angela Rayner banner these days, I think. But Louise Hay would certainly be part of that instinct. And I just really, really hope they don't go to war with each other. Because if that happens, then I think the British public will say, they're exactly like...
Now the question remains, how long before Labour realises the only way forward is to remove their anti-Trump leader and plead for Washington's forgiveness? In this scenario, Trump holds all authority, and Starmer has none. And Keir Starmer's humiliation is just beginning. What's your view? Will Donald Trump punish Starmer and Labour by ignoring the special ties between the US and UK? Isn't it true that Britain could only restore those relations by ousting Starmer? In the comment section below, share your thoughts on whether Trump has taken personally what Labour said about him. Want to watch more videos like this? If yes, please like and share, and subscribe for updates on British politics and the changes reshaping it. Until the next video, stay tuned.